Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the back of the classroom, a boys group project podcast, episode 14.
Yeah.
Where we learn that Damian
14.
only has one pair of socks because he wears those last pair.
Do you really?
What?
He didn't hear.
What happened?
Apparently, Damian has one pair of socks and no pairs of underwear.
And can't read.
Come get him, ladies, while he's hot.
Just because I have like 10 of the same pair of socks.
I can respect that.
I like black ones, and these have been the
Stop
most
bumping the
durable-
mic.
These have been the most durable socks I've had. So,
Don't do it.
we're starting now.
You'll be able to tell because I'm gonna.
We already did
Alright.
the intro too. Wait,
All right, but
are
now
we filming a new intro?
No. Well,
No.
the original.
We
intro-
spliced it together. The reason we spliced it together is because someone's parents came in the house. So
Why'd you invite them, Damian?
Why did I invite them? I had all to say in this.
Okay.
So we're here with part 2.
Of talking about our new video game idea, which is completely ours and you're not allowed to take.
You are not allowed to take these ideas and run with them, but you may listen and give feedback.
Yes, we like your feedback.
We do
If
like
you
your
if you
feedback.
have, I mean,
we
last
may credit you.
And
Yeah.
we
You
will,
may earn a royalty,
We
or
will-
we just may ignore you.
we will try to credit.
Like Wedgie Guy.
Like what you got.
yeah, like what you got.
We finally
Returns
mentioned
for this
Wedgie
Wedgie
Guy.
guy got his mention.
Yo.
Oh, have you
Yeah,
guys
let's
ever
talk
been
about
wedgie?
that. Have you ever
No.
been given a wedgie?
Yeah.
Have you actually?
Yeah. It was by my brother, I think.
Wait. We literally said we weren't going to do it because none of us have actually been given a wedgie, and then you went back on it. Why'd you go back on it?
Why'd I go back
What's
on
the
what?
story? You got a wedgie.
You said you've never been given a
Yeah.
wedgie off camera, and now that we're on camera, you say you have.
Did I don't know. I remember now. I don't know. I never had to think about it before.
Repressed trauma.
Press drama. That's why I didn't want to do it.
It's not trauma.
Well, your brother just gave you a wedgie.
Wow, that was
Yeah.
a super cool and engaging story. I'm glad we brought this up.
That's probably why I said no, because it wasn't really
Anyways,
anything
relevant.
special.
Anyways,
On to something infinitely more interesting.
Games.
Video games.
Our
video
game.
games.
Our game collectively, because we are.
Our.
We've all thought about this.
It was
I mean, he
Damian's
came
idea,
up
but
with the
now it's
idea.
our game.
And I kind of improved it, and then we all kind
Not
of
my
improved it.
game, but our game.
Our
Our
game.
game.
This is a communism here. Anyway, so there was an idea I had, which if you don't know anything about our game, watch part 1. I think it's got over 1,000 views right now. Thank
Can I
you.
rotate it?
But
Like, I don't think it's gonna
Fine.
pick up your voice, dude.
It's fine.
Like, that's gonna pick up your voice infinitely.
It's an
better.
Omni.
Is it Omni?
Should be.
So then that. Yeah.
Where is Omni-Man?
Where's Omni, man? Whoa. That was kind of sweet.
What, you guys like that?
Yeah, dude.
You guys like
Now breathe into it.
This is...
No.
This is the microphone
What?
con.
Okay, we're getting
This
off
is the
track.
microphone
warned you
con.
guys.
I warned you guys not to
We're-
mess with the mic on the podcast because you can't
We're getting
edit
off
it.
track. We're getting off track. Okay.
And then
I can edit it.
Terrible.
So,
Okay.
Where are we picking up on?
so
I brought up to Damian that I had some more ideas about our video game.
bring up these ideas and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Because it's the best way to start.
So, there's a game that me and my parents have been playing, and it's called Mafia: The Old Country. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's a game about the beginnings of the Mafia, the Italian Mafia, and it's a pretty cool game. I like it. But one of the mechanics that I thought would be fitting for our game is that in the game, the main character, Enzo, always carries a cross around his neck, and he always wears one. Let's say our character has a cross around his neck, just like Enzo, and just like in Mafia: The Old Country, since that you can change out like the beads on the cross, you can change the cross to have, you can go from like just plain wood to silver or gold, or maybe even something a little more, upgrade the cross, and each bead or medallion that you put onto the cross gives you certain benefits. Like, you put on one medallion, you become invulnerable for a split second after you go, into basically one hit. Once you're one hit, you become invulnerable to all damage. You get more money from looting bodies, or, that stuff, right? You upgrade the cross, you get more slots. And then you can also make this cross the cross dagger that we talked about last time, where he just rips it off and it turns into the dagger. I thought that would be cool. What about you guys? What do you think?
I'm just now thinking about it. it would make sense for the cross to be attached to his his body in some way, because like with the tattoos and the chains, if you're like going the more like evil route, because like if you're going the more like angelic route, right, you won't have those tattoos that with the chains.
Yeah.
So in this way, it's kind of similar where like you're not just holding a cross the entire time, or you don't like stick it into your pocket, like it's attached to your body, like around your neck, or like an everyday object, because like a tattoo is an everyday object, but that then just has, you know, chains.
Do tattoos exist then?
What?
Do tattoos exist then?
In real life, yeah.
Tattoos are pretty old. You know how like
Yeah.
the islanders do the tapping.
Yeah,
I mean, pirates even I mean, that's a little newer, but they got.
but like back in the BC era.
Ink existed, so
So they found a way to.
Even
put
so,
it on
isn't this
skin.
character like?
He's
this
from
character's
the
from
future.
modern times.
He's
so
from
are you
modern
saying like
day.
it would be weird?
I'm saying, does it make sense if he has tattoos?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing is that it could make sense, and even if
Even if it didn't, it's
he's
magic.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
even then,
He's shooting chains out of his wrists. I don't know if tattoos exist.
yeah. But even if it's like let's say that this is like a recognizable symbol, like in Far Cry 3, to go
Yeah.
undercover, Jason covers his tattoo because they don't know Jason's face, they just know he has a tattoo on his arm, so he wears something over it. We could just do something like that. So like,
It's very,
they're gonna
very
recognize
simple
him.
solution.
it's a very simple
wears
solution where he
like a
just
robe.
wears like bracers or something.
Where is Waldo?
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, for like small issues like that, it's like you can easily just
Research it.
find a solution. It's like
That's
not
true.
that big of a deal. The main problem is like actual plot.
True.
Plot matters
Plot.
a lot, more than small details like tattoos or whatever. I mean, I say that, but that's also a big part of the plot. So maybe it's not that small, but yeah, having a cross, I think that'd be really cool, because like, yeah, you have the cross on your, just like a necklace, and then you just like pull it off, and it's like turns into the like wing sword thing that's going on, the like smoke angelicness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that would be cool.
And then when he puts it away, he brings it up here, and then the things go right around and attach
Yeah, it goes-
themselves.
yeah.
Turns right back into the cross.
Magic.
I thought that'd be cool.
Magic.
I think that'd be cool too. That'd be pretty sweet. I mean, again, we can like keep going off of different ideas. Like but so far, like I think that's a good idea. Thoughts?
Is there
So
anything
footnote,
involved there?
The only thing that
Footnote,
comes
cross.
to mind.
Good idea.
The only thing that comes to mind for me is I was just thinking about ways to visualize it.
Mhm.
Like really, the only thing that came to mind when you said pulling the cross up to the neck. I was just imagining just like a ring of light goes.
Yeah,
and
wouldn't that
then
be
it-
sick?
And then it blinks, and then it's the beads again.
And that's the beats.
That's really the only thing that came to my mind.
And
Yeah.
you know what you could do? You could have like the beads. You can change the beads, but each one could be a smaller, let's say, figure in biblical history. So like even like it could be like big things, but like these beads could have like engraved pictures, I guess, or engraved like drawings, or just drawings period of smaller biblical figures, and each one, the benefit they give is based off of that character.
What if the beads on the necklace give some kind of effect, right? And when he breaks it off, maybe it's like a super move, or maybe it's like a different move set. But when he breaks it off, the mechanics change because he no longer has the beads directly around his neck. You know what I mean?
I gotcha.
So it's like maybe one of the beads is like a speed boost or whatever. You break it off, you lose the speed boost. You know, go into like a super mode, like a tank. I don't know.
There was an idea I had when it came to the beads. The way you could transform the beads into the dagger is that just below the hilt, there would be jewels, and each one of the beads would be differently colored, and depending on the color of the bead, and when it transforms, the beads separate. Obviously, they break off because you're ripping it off of your neck,
Yeah.
but they break off, and then they like glow like the rest of it, and then it comes back, and it comes back into the hilt as the color of that jewel.
That makes
Like
sense.
the pommel changes based off of the beads do you have?
Yeah, and like the bottom, like there'd be like a circular part. That would be the medallion.
The pommel, yeah.
Like the bottom pommel, and then just under the hilt would be the jewels. There's also an idea I had where it's like the super move could be like. So I was playing Spider-Man 2 a while ago, the Insomniac game, and Peter Parker has a move called Symbiote Surge, where the symbiote basically goes full tantrum mode, and you basically just kill everything as fast as you can. You do high amounts of damage. You do, your moves, your abilities regenerate way faster while in this mode. We could do something like that. I thought Spartan Rage type style.
Bro, that is a knife.
It itches.
You're gonna cut your head open.
No.
Dude, please don't bleed on my couch.
I'm not. I'm scratching my head. Get back to the conversation. This is not.
Bro, it's a
important.
knife.
Not
You have a
important.
knife.
Not important.
Kids, don't try this at home.
You just use your fingers, dog.
The knife's better. More precise. This is not important. Stop focusing on me.
Okay.
You're literally using a knife.
Well, he stopped. So, let's see. Where was I? Damon, where was I?
Insomniac, Spider-Man,
Oh yeah. So.
Rage, Spartan Rage.
So, like God of War, another like hack and slash variant from this probably like started the whole hack and slash genre, kick-started like Doom
Sure.
did, right? And Spartan Rage is your mode where you just go completely ape crap, and Symbiote Surge is that same type of mechanic in Spider-Man. But what if we had some like Sin Surge or whatever, and we could do
Something like that. Yeah, we could have like a sin bar or like.
the more you collect sin, you collect it, and it builds up.
What would be good? What would be the good bar? What would that be called?
Well, we could do. I don't know. That'd be hard. But
Angelic.
purification.
Purification. There we go.
So, yeah, like the more you don't like, if you do
The more
stuff,
good
The
deeds.
blessing bar.
The blessed bar.
Carson, that is a knife.
Well,
I'm
that's a more typical
scratching.
thing. That's a more.
With a knife.
I see.
Hey, I itch. Okay, stop focusing. We're
With a
talking about
knife?
more
why
important
don't you
things.
just do that with your teeth, huh? Why can't you be
It's
normal?
like using a. Why can't you just be normal?
You're also shaving yourself a little bit.
No, I'm going this way.
Anyway,
Stop focusing on it. I'm gonna be itching myself.
so
With a knife.
Yes.
On camera.
It's a dull knife.
I mean, it's a dull knife.
It's
It's
really
still
dull.
a knife.
So like with the Sin Surge, and then the purification, what you could do is, since we already have the corruption thing and like small gameplay changes, like using the change more often,
Yeah.
lead to being more corrupted, because you're using the devil weapons, the bad guy weapons, whatever. You
Yeah.
could be like, so using the cross dagger would increase your purification. And another thing I thought about the cross dagger was like, well, it's a cross dagger, and it's supposed to be the representation of God. Well, let's say that this cross dagger, when you used against a demon type of enemy, so like any kind of demon, you stab them or whatever, and you kick them away, and their eye, like literally glowing lights just pours out of their eyes and their mouth, and like just about every part of their body, like basically their body starts breaking apart with glowing light. Then, boom, they explode in a bloody mess, and then that chains to other demons.
I see that.
But if you do it against like a human, like
It's kinda
anyone
like-
else, it doesn't do anything.
We could also have like, because it's like God's light emitting from it, or something similar where it's just like they can't look at it, like they just go blind looking at the.
It's like a status effect.
Yeah, it's like a status.
Blinded.
Yeah.
Blinded.
I
Like
was just thinking about
stunned.
another thing though. How I didn't even really think about this because Michael doesn't give you the chains. How would you get the chains? How would those be unlocked?
I think I kind of thought about this in the first, like when the devil first comes to you and basically
Oh, I
he
suppose.
possesses
yeah,
you.
yeah,
So
yeah,
when he
you're right,
possesses you,
I forgot about that part.
what would happen is that the chains
how the
basically
brain
wrap
fart.
around his skin, and then
Yeah.
they burn
Burn.
into his
So
skin.
it's already
and they
there,
just melt
yeah.
into it.
Never
and then
mind. Yeah.
Afterwards, it's the tattoos, and then
That's
it gets
right.
sent right back in time.
And then from there, it's just like if you choose to use the chains, then whether or not you know it, like that will have a negative effect, or that will change the course of your good or good or bad.
Well,
side
it's
of you.
it's like I think of
I
it
feel like
Well,
we should specify,
we'll specify it, but like
or at least
it's one of those things where it's like, oh, if I use it once, it won't matter that much. Even though
Yeah.
we said and we showed like this is what happens if you do use them more, or
what it would be like is
I want it to
Spider-Man
be-
Web of Shadows, which is definitely something that I guess has a lot of its blood kind of
Yeah.
in it in a weird way. Where like in Spider-Man Web of Shadows, if you are trying to be a good guy but you use the symbiote, you're not like if you do it every once in a while, that's fine.
right.
But you're gonna be if you're using it all the time, but you're doing all the good guy choices, you're basically just playing jump rope with your
Right.
morality.
high honor, go back for the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
I mean, I was kind of like thinking because like in real life, the way that you sin, right, is just like
Small little things.
small little things, and you're just like, oh, just this one time is fine, and then like you keep doing that, but then it becomes more frequent. You're just like, oh, this one time is fine. Then you're like, oh, well, maybe but it doesn't matter that much, right?
Maybe
It's like you can cause that effect on people.
maybe
to make
it's
those
like
choices
the
in the
more
game.
that you use the moveset from either side, it starts to creep into like very slowly creep into the base moveset,
Yeah.
or one like or takes the other or whatever, you know. So like maybe there's like a basic attack chain, a basic attack combo.
Yeah.
But as you use your special moves more, maybe very slowly the basic attack combo starts to resemble the chains or the angelic.
Okay, I see that. Yeah, that would work.
So like
That would
I
work.
don't know, maybe like the basic attack combo is just like a 1-2 roundhouse or whatever.
Right.
But if you use the chains too much, it's like maybe it's like a 1-2 chain whip, you know?
I see it. Yeah, that would, something like that would work actually really well.
That's like an obvious example. I was thinking that it would be a little more subtle than that.
It could. I mean, I feel like that's subtle enough. Like, especially if
It changes the damage.
if it's just like, because it doesn't have to be like, if it's a moveset like that, it really does just kind of creep in. Because like one day you just notice that your basic moveset,
Yeah.
you're not pushing the button to do it anymore, and you're like, oh, that's cool. Maybe that was a glitch
So
or
it's like
something.
maybe it's like
Yeah, it's
punch
like-
punch chain whip, but if you're going the good route, it's like punch punch dagger.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's what I was thinking. So like,
And then
Or-
that can creep into like every other mechanic. I was thinking.
Yeah.
yeah, because I remember us talking about this before we press start. I said to Damian, like in the Force Unleashed, you can hold down triangle or Y, it would be, and what Starkiller does is he reaches out his hands and just shoots lightning. But if you use it in a lightsaber combo, the lightsaber he infuses the lightsaber with lightning, and striking an enemy with that inflicts them with lightning.
Yeah. Are we thinking we're gonna have like a skill tree, or because
That's an interesting thought. And
the
that's
skill if there's a skill tree, would the skill tree have the two paths and maybe a neutral, or would it be one skill tree that the actual options change based on your choices?
I think, actually, that's cool. What you
Mhm.
could do.
Yeah.
So here's
So,
like
I think
so you know the 7 deadly sins
yeah.
and you know the 7 virtues.
Mhm.
What you could do
That
is
could be
one
cool.
chapter you get the first 2, which the one sin and another, so like lust and temperance, and they completely even out. But depending on your choice in that chapter, you unlock one but not the other.
Oh.
And then that will change the way you play the game from that point on.
Right, because then you unlock. Okay, yeah.
Can I
So,
also
Something like that.
mention, like, I don't know if this is just me, but sometimes I'm like intimidated by the skill tree because there's so many options.
That's what I was thinking, right?
So like if it limits your options,
Yeah,
and
so
it's
this
like
would-
you choose this, this, or this, but then based on what you choose, the other ones no longer become an option.
That's like
Yeah.
is that basically what you're saying, right?
Basically, what it's saying is that it limits the skill
It gives
tree.
you two options of picks for you, basically based on your choices.
Yeah.
What it is that if you so like chapter 1, you don't have like let's say chapter 1, like everything like the tutorial before you even get to like the first big choice, and then you make your big choice. You know, good guy, bad guy, good, you know, God or the devil, and then the first thing that happens is you pick your choice depending on which choice it is. If it's the evil route, you get lust, the skill of
Right.
sin, and it does devil stuff, and it basically it's stuff that lust the sin it's skills that are
Yeah.
based on lust, but temperance would be the opposite.
So it
it's
could
the
be
good
li-
side.
It could be like
So like
some sort of
temperance,
temptation or something. for
like
you,
lust, yeah, lust would be like, so lust is the desire
Charisma,
of,
there we go. That's what I was looking for.
lust is typically like sexual desire, but it's usually just desire of anything like power or
Yeah.
anything like that. What it
Power,
could be
anything,
is like
yeah.
you kill enemies, you get more sin. You like that stuff. And then temperance would be like if you don't use a dagger attack for more than 10 seconds in each combat encounter, it doubles its damage.
I like that. That's a good mechanic. We can work with that.
And yeah, so like temperance is basically like if you hold off on the big stuff, they do more stuff later. And lust is like, okay, you want more stuff.
Yeah, that's a good. I like that mechanic, and I think that could also bleed into other things. Is like
For sure.
this mechanic specifically is related to lust and temperance because sin is the same, where it's like instant gratification,
Right.
whereas the angelic side would be like
It's definitely.
patience for a bigger payoff.
Yep.
So it's like,
Yep.
I don't know, basically like what I'm thinking is a dagger, which does little damage but very quickly, versus a warhammer that does big damage after some patience, right?
Like a gravity hammer, dude.
Yeah.
Like a big cross gravity.
So it's
hammer.
like there's a ability you can choose to use. And there's like a meter filling up, and it's like
Yeah.
if you use it more often, it's a weaker attack.
Yeah.
But if you use it less often, it's a bigger attack.
And then similar with this on the sin side is if you use your sin powers too much, it debuffs you, just like it would in real life, you know.
Yeah.
I think there is like, yeah.
Like maybe as you use the sin power more and more, its accuracy decreases or something.
What color are your eyes?
That
Sorry.
what?
Sorry, I just got so distracted. I was just like, I was like,
It depends on the lighting.
because they look
Ayo.
gray right now.
Yeah, it depends on the lighting.
That's
And
why I was
what's
so
going-
confused because I was like, normally
Yeah,
they're
it depends
not
on the
that
lights and what I'm wearing.
Oh, okay.
Yours is
Blue. Are yours hazel?
What?
Are those blue?
I think they're blue.
They look blue.
They look a little gray right now, I'm gonna be honest.
They all, everyone's
Well,
eyes.
that's 'cause
It's just
there's
this
light now.
lighting. It's just this lighting.
This is a random side tangent.
Anyway,
Anyway,
so
I went to the eye doctor today.
I think,
yeah, you were talking.
yeah. So, for another thing, like obviously since it's chapter based and you
Yeah.
make each choice you make changes temperance, you get temperance or lust.
Yep.
Another thing could be like if you get another skill, what it would be, it would do shut up.
I didn't say anything.
Now you did. Okay, but
Yeah,
like
'cause I
one
put
one
myself-
thing, one sin, like little like I guess little tree. It would be would be wrath, and then wrath could be your ability to gain sin.
Faster or something.
Yeah, like you get like no, not like sin faster because that would be lust. Lust
Right.
is
Oh,
desire
good
for
point,
the thing.
good point, good point.
What wrath would be is your sin surge, right? So it builds
Oh, okay,
faster
gotcha.
because I don't know, like it
It's
could
like-
be just rage
It's
too.
like raging in D&D.
Yeah, basically, it's and then like
now my ideas are being influenced by D&D because I'm playing Baldur's Gate.
Oh my god. This guy.
yeah, but like the thing is that with wrath, it could be like the more wrathful the player acts, the better it goes for him. But if you do it the other way, which is patience, then being patient is going to reward the player better because he has skills in patience.
Yeah.
And it's also based on the choices you make. So obviously, if you make one choice and then this choice or whatever, then obviously it's going to change.
Yeah,
pretty
what
heavily.
if each level, along with being based around specific events, is also based around the sin and the virtue that are opposite to each other, right? And
Well,
then-
yeah.
So by the end of the chapter, based on the choices you made in the chapter and previously, it gives you a skill point for one or the other that's based around the sin that the sin and virtue that the level is based in, you know?
Yeah,
Or
I
based
think.
around.
Yeah, I think so. Because I think it would be a good way. Maybe, but that also kind of makes it like how many biblical events are actually based around that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because,
It
like,
could
I
also
guess,
be like every third level or whatever.
and
It doesn't have to be every level.
or like every chapter, right?
Or
It
yeah,
would-
true. It could be like once per chapter.
Yeah,
Because I mean, if you think about it, in every situation, every sin and virtue is involved. It's just some are more pronounced than others.
Yeah.
In certain situations.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think every biblical story isn't centered around certain virtues or certain sins or anything like that. I mean, I guess you could say lust is pretty much there with Adam and Eve because Eve was tempted by the serpent, and then I guess.
See, but that's
Kind
the
of
thing,
like-
is with that, you can relate every sin and every virtue to every Bible story.
But is that what the story actually is about?
Not necessarily.
Well,
But
yeah, but
I think it's not necessarily a big deal to just make the reward or whatever be based around one of the 7 of either side.
yeah, that's just it. I mean, the skill
Or
tree
maybe,
idea is really
maybe it's a
good.
non-linear skill tree. You have both of them, then by the end of a level or chapter or whatever, you get a positive and a negative, or a positive or a negative skill point. And then you guys know what a non-linear skill tree is.
It's
It's
basically you
so
don't
some
have to
skill
unlock
trees-
certain
Yeah,
stuff.
some skill
before you get-
trees you have to grow it, and some skill trees you can plot at any time.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Okay.
And then as you maybe for
So,
some
like-
games you can upgrade a skill multiple times.
Oh yeah, that too.
So what if
wait.
what if
It's kinda
it's
like Far Cry
what if the
then.
skill tree is the 7 deadly sins and the seven virtues, and then you get based on how you play, you get positive or negative skill points, and then you can put your skill points into whatever tree they are attributed to, you know?
Mhm.
So if you act good, you get a angelic skill point.
Yeah.
And then you can put that skill point into any one of the 7, and it gives you abilities based on, so that the levels aren't necessarily based around a specific sin.
Well,
So it's just a non-linear skill tree, and you can upgrade some skills multiple times to upgrade them or get new abilities or whatnot.
well, I don't think that's bad. What I do think though is like a somewhat. I mean, I just had an idea where like a half linear but half non-linear skill tree. So like, let's say this is the timeline, right? It's just a straight line from here to there because that's how the game goes. It starts from Adam and Eve, then it goes all the way up till the end of the story, which is in the modern day. And here we have this area, and what it could be is it splits off in 2 directions, and it's still the same idea where you do the good choice, you get temperance. If you do the bad choice, you get lust. And it's that same thing with each virtue and each sin tempering it out. But what it could be is that you have a central thing right here, and making that choice just by itself gives you a certain type of boost or some type of skill. So like
You're saying like a neutral?
basically a neutral thing, right? And then it splits off into like 6 different directions or 7 different directions, whatever, like even amount.
See, that's
And
where
then it goes into different ones.
because that could get pretty expansive, right? And Nevan was talking about having too big of a skill tree, so that's why I was kind of thinking limiting the skills to 7 on each side plus upgrades
Mm-hmm.
would be good.
Like area of effect, upgrades, damage, that
Yeah.
stuff.
Like, I don't know, maybe
You don't have a neck?
Let me show you.
maybe a greed perk.
Let me try and
It's like-
visualize what I'm thinking. Even though I don't even know if this would be like a good skill tree to use.
Oh, do you have?
I think I can visualize what I
do you have your idea that, or are you trying to visualize ours?
I've been thinking about something else and if it would work,
Yeah,
but
yeah, for sure.
let me try and
He's writing. He's
visualize
rich.
this.
Unlike some people. I'm
Okay.
sorry, David. It's lore now that you can read.
Ugh.
Just like it's lore, how I have mommy issues.
Oh my
I like-
gosh.
I like goth mummies,
Okay.
but you.
Who doesn't though?
I
Okay.
can try and visualize mine too.
Okay. Let's do this. Okay.
It's all
We're
good.
drawing now. Yippee.
Guys, we're
I don't even know if this would make sense, but
Are you using the gold pen?
I am. Okay.
Don't you work tomorrow?
Yes. I'm tired. We've only been doing. We're at 40 minutes, and that's with things we're cutting out.
Who says the podcast has to be an hour?
That's fair.
I don't know if this is gonna make sense. This is hard because the way I'm thinking of doing it, it would have to like, well, not necessarily, but it would have to. We would have to come up with a lot of skills.
Well, the skills could be just about anything, I think.
You said
They
you're
could be,
worried
like,
about having too many
boosts.
choices. Personally, I don't have that issue. I like having a lot of options.
The way I'm visualizing it is you won't have a lot of choices, but there will be a lot of skills. So
It's
But
See, what
this game is supposed to be about having choices.
The
Or
thing-
are you saying
Well,
it's
that's-
more based off of the choices?
here's what I'm saying. Okay.
so it's
let me
based
show
off of the
this
choices
first.
I'm thinking it's based off the choices you make.
Right.
Then you can get those skills later on as you get like XP or skill points or whatever you get.
I think it could like. So are you saying like all the skills are there? It's just based off the choices you make. It has a
Yes.
group
So
portion.
here's your very first skill you can choose. So I made a key. So if the dot is filled in, it's like the Jesus path or good path. And if it's not, then it's essentially Satan.
Okay.
The way I'm kind of imagining it is that as you go to the left here, where I visualized the good path, the skills get more.
Evil.
So you know
Or
how we were talking
Jesus.
about like if you choose the evil route, it should be easier, and if you choose the good route, it should be harder. That's kind of what I'm imagining with these skills too. Is
Gotcha.
because if you're going for these skills, you're going for a harder harder gameplay for the better finish, right? The better ending.
Yeah.
And then if you go here, it's like the evil path. So you start here, right? And when you choose your first skill point, you can choose either one of these. So let's say like you choose this one, and then you go up. The next choice, you get to choose either the next one, or you get to choose to go more on the good side or more on the evil side.
I see.
So even
you
though,
basically, I'm kind of thinking here. So like,
even though, like, yeah,
So you could
you
could
get-
plateau at a certain point.
yeah.
Just like how much you
So
want
like,
to.
if you choose this one first, what you can do is you can choose one. The next one you can choose of a similar amount of goodness, more good, or you can cross over to more evil. So when you go up,
it's literally a tree.
So you're like-
it's
going
kind of a tree,
like
yeah.
that.
I see.
It's almost like a pyramid though, like a reverse pyramid.
So just like the corruption system.
So
you go more to
there's a
this
skill
side
point
and
over
that
here, but if
side.
you go
Okay.
up here, then you only get to choose
So
from
it's
3
like-
different options. And then if you go here, say you go here, and then you go up, here, say, you can choose now from.
So it's like it's a skill token
Yes.
that's moving around the tree.
Yeah,
Kind of,
that's,
yeah.
that's
Basically,
what I
as it goes up, it changes.
But
when
it
goes
unlocks
left
a
or
new
right.
ability every time. But it's just some abilities make the gameplay,
So-
like we said, more difficult but more rewarding,
Rewarding,
whereas
for
some
sure.
make it easier but less rewarding.
If the tree, so in this, if the tree is shaped like this, and for example, the next time, you could choose to go like right.
So like you could
So
choose
yeah,
to
you
come
go
over
to
here.
the right. What if on the next one you want to go more good? Do you go all the way to this one, or do you go back
No.
to this?
So
one?
like we
Do you
said,
have to go-
this is the first one you chose good. You go up
Mm-hmm.
to this one, which means you can choose either of
The
these.
left?
So if you chose this one to the left, that means the next ones you can choose any of these 3.
Oh, really?
So you could choose to go here, but if you're here, you can choose to go here, more good or more evil.
Oh, do you have to go up?
Every time you only get 3 options.
Do you have? But you have,
You have to go up. You're going
So
up.
this
yes.
one this line is not correct then.
Yeah, I kind
Oh
of
my
messed
gosh, I
up.
just read it.
I see. This is why I needed a pencil, but like it's like a reverse pyramid. Like this one, I'm not gonna fill in the dots. I could fill in the dots. So like,
already started.
Just do lines and circles.
yeah, yeah. So you have that, and then you have, like I said, and then eventually like.
That makes sense.
But yeah, it means every time you only get 3 choices,
Yeah.
I like that.
and then it's just however many we want to do on each side. Because like I said, if you do it like this, you have to come up with a lot of abilities. But like, let's say you start here.
I
right?
mean, even a tree of this size, what is that? 4, 3, 2.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
a
a
lot.
lot of. That's.
But it's like some of them can be like slight variations and such. But if
I
you
mean,
go
the
up
thing
here,
is-
I mean, that's 20 skills. Even a tree that size, I think that's a decent size. I think that's like a good.
But then that would mean the entire game you only get 1, 2, 3, 4 chances
That's
to choose a
true.
skill point.
Well, you could make them very significant skill points.
Yeah,
and make them based per chapter rather than per
like
level.
maybe if we had like 2 skill trees or something, but that would be crazy. Like to
Well,
implement 2 skill trees.
See, this is what I'm thinking more or less. So, I know this is kind of small. I might not see it on camera, but so here's like the start of the game. Start of the game, your first choice is with Adam and Eve, right? That's or the concept, right? But
Yeah.
it works. You make your decision. Whatever decision you make goes. You make evil decision up here. You go lust. Good side, you go over here. You get temperance. And then in these little bubbles, you can now put skill points or whatever into these skills inside of these bubbles. And you don't. And it like you don't have to build. These aren't like trees inside of trees. These aren't like branches inside of trees. These are just the branches. You don't like everything inside this bubble you can get right off the bat, but it locks off depending on what choice you make. So you go evil. This is what you get. You don't get temperance at all.
Yeah.
That's set in stone. You're not getting it for the rest of the playthrough. David and Goliath. Let's say you make a choice to be wrathful. I guess, like you let David get killed by Goliath.
Yeah.
Wrath. You save David from Goliath. Patience. It's the same idea, but it keeps going and building and building. So you can go all good throughout, or you can go all evil throughout.
But you
And
can't
this
do both.
is, and that's basically and each one is completely balanced. Completely balanced. I say that, but
in a perfect world.
in a perfect world, it's balanced. But what I do mean is like there's 5 skills, let's say, in each one of these bubbles,
Yeah.
or 7 skills, or whatever amount of skills. But each one has those skills, and each
Okay,
one
gotcha.
is based around these ones.
Yeah.
Lust is about desire for more. Temperance is about holding off on those desires. Wrath is about
Yeah.
swift anger. Patience is about holding off on that. But each one of these immediately reward you. Well, not immediately, but they reward you based on what it is.
Right. I think as well, like, with either side you decide to go on, like, I think, like, the evil side could be, like you were saying, like, more immediate, but less long-term. And I think we could probably, like, a way that we could show that is, like, maybe not even, how do we show that? So, it could be like damage output. I was kind of thinking like maybe it's smaller damage, but maybe more frequent. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
That's what I was saying.
Is that what you were saying? And then like the other
Like
way.
basically, on the most surface level, my idea was like, based on which way you go is basically like changes your class.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't know, evil is like high DPS, low HP, rush down kind of character, whereas the other side is like difficult to play, like
It's
strategy,
like
crusader strategy, like tank build kind of. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's more complex
like
stuff
precision.
that you have to actually think about. You can't just go in there, beat it
Yeah.
down, and immediately win.
Right.
Here's another idea I had. So, I just had this, by the way. So, since if we go with this skill tree, what I would think would be cool is that you gain trinkets, and your main character either has them basically hooked to his body, so
Yeah.
it basically becomes a part of you, or you use it as a thing. So, like David and Goliath, you use David's slingshot, and he's gonna have that on him the whole time because obviously it's kind of just a good detail. But if you let David get killed by Goliath, let's say, the slingshot is covered in David's blood, or it's not. And then here, for the representation of wrath, if you let him die, it shows David's slingshot in the background, but it's all bloody. And then patience is just David's slingshot.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That would be cool too. And then like you can get other things that like he can just carry on him.
Yeah.
So like a splinter from David's cross or something like that.
I'm trying to visualize this a little better, but I'm also like trying to imagine like because this one has a lot. Like what if there isn't possibility we could implement like 2 different skill trees, one which is more significant abilities,
Like
and one
a sub skill tree.
kind of yeah. Is there a way to combine these 2? Yeah, but just a
Well, we
bit.
could.
Because, like, what I'm imagining, like, let me try and do this a little better. Because you start here, like, you choose this one, right? And then, like, on the skill tree, once this next row unlocks, you can see this, this, and this, but also this other one all the way over here, but it'll tell you you are too far on the good side to choose this ability. So you can choose like another one, like if you choose to go to this one, and now you're here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then now you can choose from this, this, and this, but it shows you these ones, but you can't choose them. You can only choose the 3 that you're closest to.
I like the idea of a skill token that can move around the tree in any direction, but only by one space.
So make
it's
this a circle.
What you could do for
no,
this
like
idea?
that is perfect. But you start at the bottom, and as you get skill points, you can go to here, and then if you get another one, you can go to here, and that unlocks the path. So if you wanted to, you could go all the way over to this one, and it counts as like one movement. So it's kind of like how like a king moves on a chessboard. I'm thinking, you know.
So
What you could
But
do?
if a path is unlocked, you can go all the way through it.
There's another idea I had where, what are baptisms exactly? What are they supposed to do in a spiritual one? Do they just cleanse you?
Yeah, it's like a spiritual cleansing.
Kind
It
of.
just
It's a
is it just a reset button basically?
Well, no, it's also you make a commitment. Basically, it's basically like when you're of age, when you're old enough to like
At least what our church
be
believes.
conscious enough to make a commitment to God.
I had an idea. With this idea, since it's a skill, it's a token basically, and you basically climb up it like this and go left and right every time. What you could do is a baptism, and what it does is that it sets you right back down to the bottom, and then you get
I see
every
what you
move back up.
Well-
it's a reset basically.
Respecking.
I
Like a
mean, we
respect.
could have it like.
I just didn't know if
So-
baptisms actually did that.
So-
if that would make sense.
Like he gets wait, how does baptism? Okay, say it one more time. Like,
So basically, since Nevan's idea is it's like this, but it starts here, and then it goes like this, and then it goes up, and then you keep moving and moving and moving. Each
okay,
I
time
should
you
have brought
move
my
up, that's like
freaking
one
colored
pencils.
point, and then a baptism basically
Did you bring-
gives you back
you
all
have a
your
pen over
points
there?
and brings you back.
he has one in his hand. So, I think what would work better instead of baptism, like maybe for your first one it's baptism, but like, what would make more sense is like partaking in the sacrament because it's renewing your covenants to God. So like that would reset your, like, maybe it wouldn't reset your skill tree, but it would allow you to.
It basically moves you back a few spaces.
Yeah, it would essentially reset it to a certain degree, but like not in the same way, because yeah, again, like baptism isn't like you're not restarting life again from that point. You're still the person you were. You're just
I mean,
making a different commitment.
Some people do get baptized again, even if they've already been baptized.
That's true.
If
That's
they
true.
feel like they've been.
Yeah, I guess that would work too.
It's
I guess
it's
we could have
just
two
like-
options. We could have partake sacrament, which is like only a few down, and then like I don't know. We could go on with that.
Yeah, because that's kind of something that I've been thinking about, which was
But that goes into like, if you're on the good path and you go to respec,
Yeah,
and you can just change it. Like, no, you're supposed
No.
to live with.
You're supposed to live with the
choices,
choices.
right?
and that's what I'm thinking, right? So like I don't know if I really
But
like that.
I mean, repentance, of course. So I think that it's more reasonable to have the less significant resets, so that you could reset and then start making your way towards a different path.
I think if you repent, so you know how we have 5 different endings, and then like these two are basically these two endings, but slightly worse or better.
yeah.
Which side? So we could be like repentance gives you more this option instead of the super evil option,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's just a grid.
Is that what you had in
Well,
mind?
hold on. I actually had another.
Yeah,
I
kinda.
had an idea about the skill, like a different skill tree in general.
What is it?
So this one, I don't know if this one is going to be nearly as good because it might have too many skills as well. But
It's a lot
when
of
you
skills.
when one of you first brought up skill trees and then you did. So when you first brought up skill tree, my thought went like there's going to be like your base skills that you unlock. So there's basically 3 like trees. So you have your base skills. And then these two is like
Good
this is your
evil.
virtue, and then this is your
Yeah.
your sin tree.
It's like Spider-Man.
I guess that's kind of what
That's
I
like
brought
it
up
too.
earlier. Was
Hold
like
on.
the base skills change based on your path.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
what
I
was
think I like having them like this divider here,
Yeah.
I think is important.
What you could do is, like in Spider-Man 2, since you play as 2 different Spider-Men, what it does is that it separates the skill tree into 3 portions, which one of them is both, so it's skills that apply to both Miles and Peter. And then there's 2 other skill trees, which is Peter only, so there's skills that apply to Peter, and then another one which is the same thing, but it's for Miles. What you could do is, since you're playing as one character, obviously, you have the middle, which is your core abilities, which are things that aren't, like, completely out of the range. It's not anything.
It's just like permanent boosts, basically.
It's basically permanent boost to just your core mechanics. But then then there's the other skill tree, which is like your chains. It would show your chains, and that would be your sin. And then there's your cross, and that would be your virtue.
And I mean, like, as well with that, like, with your base ones, you could have where, like, depending on where you're at in the story, like, obviously you don't have certain ones unlocked, but how would this work? So, based off the decision you make, so if you make a good decision,
It boosts good stuff.
it boosts good stuff, but, like, maybe it would, because things would play out differently, you wouldn't get a certain, like you, I don't know.
This one I was trying to imagine like Carson's idea of being a king on a chessboard. You can imagine this is like the pyramid too, if we don't want it as an entire grid.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean, like the boxes as this pyramid. But like he said, like if you start here and then you have to just start out with one of these two. If you're like right here, so you can only, it's like a king on a chessboard, you can only go one space in any direction. So you have options, more of which are good because you went to the good side, but you can still like go over to
A little bit of
I
the
see.
evil
The
side,
side
and
of
get
evil.
certain benefits from that side too.
And then again, if we imagine this is like that reverse pyramid type of thing as the skill tree, if you stay like if this is the grid, if you go up this way, if you like go along these ones on the edge, there's less options.
Okay.
And once again, it's like that harder path for the greater reward. So that's kind of Carson's take on it, visualize. But you can still go like in the other direction, down, up, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just if you go up,
Yeah.
it, like if we do it like this, where if you're going up and as you go up, options broaden out.
So
Further to the side of good, further to the side of
in
evil.
this situation, what I was thinking was, so say your skill token is all the way up here, right?
Like in the corner.
Yeah. So you've made this path, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and say you get a
And now
skill
you can
point,
go-
you could go right or up or whatever, right?
Well, in
By
this
one
case,
space.
if you get all the way up here, your only option is here.
Well,
But once
assuming that there was another one above it, you could go up as
you
well.
go
right?
up, but if
But
you get to the top,
If
mm-hmm.
Because you've made this path,
Yeah.
you can also, your move with the piece can be to go all the way down here. It's like snakes and ladders.
Oh yeah.
Takes you back to the beginning,
It's whatever you've unlocked.
and then you could go down, or you could go to this next piece, right?
Okay.
Or this next space, and then it's like, it's still balanced out because you're like super good, but then of course
So-
everybody's got that little bit of evil. Or
Well, let's say if you went up like this
It's
way,
actually a really cool idea.
should the idea be that you can only choose one from the space you're on, or you should be able to choose one from any of these spaces? So like since you were here, you could go.
Well,
choose
I'm
this
thinking to get to this point, you have to select all these first.
one. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, but you create a path as you go, and as you create that path, you can travel it freely until you reach a point. So say like, yeah, you could do this. Say you get to this point, unlock that one, and then your next point could be to go from this one right up to this one, and then this one
From here?
and then
here?
once you've unlocked this path, your next move, for example, could be to come back down here and then unlock this one.
So it's just you can move within one space of everything you've unlocked, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, but
And
have
then-
it as that reverse pyramid still.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that shape is good.
So reverse pyramid grid, but you can go one space, left, right, up, down, whatever,
off of.
diagonal, from any space that you've unlocked.
Yes.
So it starts with little options, but it
It builds off.
builds
into
more.
something.
And if you choose more good options, the more Christ-like options, it makes combat more difficult but more rewarding, and the ending more rewarding. That's what I was thinking about too. Is like combining this as well as with like other decisions you make. How is that gonna like work with the system that gives you the? I swear, if this bled through, it kind of bled through.
It's fine.
It's fine. We can always get a new one of these papers.
I can get another one of these. Like these plain ones.
Yeah. Sure.
You want me to?
Yeah.
Okay.
That way I can draw it out for real, so we can have it. But what was I saying? Yeah. How does everything combined like help determine, like, I guess in the code of the game, like whether or not, like what options you'll have to choose essentially for your ending when you get there, like with the decision you make, or should the decision like?
I don't think it's like an option that's presented to you. I think it's just something that
Like a final decision you make, it determines the ending or helps determine the ending.
It's like
There's a final
it's
decision,
like what Carson said.
but you'll only be able to make certain decisions.
Yeah.
So like
Or the decisions you make change based off of your previous action. Like
Yeah.
in Red Dead.
Yeah,
it's
like in
it's
Red
based
Dead.
off of Red Dead. Like the final decision where you help John, that's the good thing, and then go back for the money, that's the bad thing. But if you're mostly good and do the other thing, it's gonna obviously push you towards the
cutscene
bad stuff.
changes
But if you're still good enough, then obviously it's not gonna be too much. And the same thing in the other way, vice versa. What
I'm
I'm
gonna put good on the right,
If
actually.
you're
I
low
think that
honor,
makes sense.
but choose to help John, the cutscene is, and the final scene is, and the final gameplay even.
it still
is
ends
slightly
low honor.
different.
It's just helps you basically makes you, it nudges like every other decision. And
And that's another thing that I was considering is, I don't know how much you guys know. I know Trevor knows this, but basically based off of your honor in Red Dead, when you are given choices, there's a time limit, and if you wait based on what your honor is, it'll automatically
pick the
start to
other
load up the other option. But you can still choose the other one. It's just it'll automatically start filling one up.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because I remember that. What?
And interestingly, I just want to point this out there. There's different cutscenes, so letting the bar fill up on its own versus pressing it yourself.
Is it different?
There's different cutscenes in certain situations.
Well,
Like there's this one, if you're, I think, low honor, and Mary Linton, you know, when she first asked Arthur for help in Valentine.
Yeah.
If you let your low honor fill up the bar to not help her, she'll get mad at Arthur and go like run inside and slam the door on him. But if you press it and activate it yourself, he's like. So the difference is if you let it fill up, Arthur just stays silent and she takes it as a no. But if you press it, Arthur tells her no and she's more understanding. It's really interesting. That game is crazy in depth, dude.
that's a detail.
Just a side
though.
note.
I just had another thought as well. So, I mean, we could even combine the two ideas of having the skill tree and then this idea. So this idea is like, instead of having a skill tree, it's more like aspects or I think aspects was the only word that like came to mind. But basically, you know how in Fallout, if you do an action that a companion, or if you say something that a companion or an action or a comment, and one of your companions is there with you, and they disagree with it or agree with it, it'll say Piper like that or like Valentine dislike that.
Everybody disliked that.
Everybody disliked that. So basically, it would be something similar to that where instead of a skill tree, it'll say like, you know, whichever one, if it's virtue or sin, it'll say like
the sin
this-
grows within you.
sin grows within you, or virtue.
The devil is losing control.
Or virtue's
We're
light.
at 104.
Already.
virtues,
I
light,
think we made some
rose.
And there's also another thing I want to talk about, the skill trees, but
And it could be like one of those things where you have a skill tree behind the scenes, so you don't really pick and choose.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at, right?
But, like-
how your moveset changes based on your choices.
Yeah, that's exactly basically what you were saying. So it kind of like
Hidden skill tree.
hidden skill tree, or we could even have something where it's like
I
if
don't like that actually.
I asked a
It's-
question.
I
and then
really like
was
that
so
more.
focused drawing this that I completely missed the answer to my question. That's funny. Yeah. This I think was what we're imagining, right? So reverse pyramid.
microphone's in the way.
Well,
yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah,
Reverse
that's what-
pyramid. You start here. You get to choose two options.
I'm glad that you switched it over because before you had good as black. And I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah, that didn't make
the
sense.
gold
But
makes more sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
good, Christ-like, but weak ability. So these are basically weaker, but they're
Weaker
more,
abilities.
But
and the
profit.
farther you
do
get,
they profit more at late
They
game?
get strong. Yeah, they get stronger.
I
And
think
then-
we can do that. Yeah.
And then evil,
Well,
evil's like just general like average abilities. I think like it doesn't.
I think we should.
Or should it diminish
amplify
as it goes on?
I think we should amplify your choices as you go on.
Absolutely.
Where like deep into the virtue skill
Unless you
tree.
go middle route.
Yeah, so like deep into the virtue skill tree, your skills will start to represent like, like Trevor was saying, like they're gonna be more
and
patience based.
and kind of something I
Yeah.
was imagining as well. Like I mentioned before, like you go up, but you can see some skills that are there that you don't have the access to. If this like ends up going like kind of deep, and maybe even we can add like a middle square, like a middle section that goes into the pyramid. That's like the kind of center of the road, right?
Yeah.
But as you choose to become more good or more evil, these start to essentially gray out, so you can still see that they're there, but you don't have any way to select them because you are like too good or too evil.
It's basically
Yeah.
taunting.
It starts, it starts the ones. So like if you're
No,
choosing,
like based off of your virtue rating,
Mhm.
maybe you're not allowed to move left or right.
yeah. So like
For that
essentially,
level up. Or that-
how do I visualize this? Like if you're going closer and closer to the good side and choosing more and more good abilities, like essentially like start with like this one starts to fade out, and then you get these ones fading out, right?
Mhm.
And then these ones
Mm-hmm.
start to fade out as you get farther and farther over
I
here.
see it. Okay.
So
And-
those are there, but you can't select them.
I don't know if it should be permanent though.
Well, I think it should work off the corruption. So the corruption system is going to depend. So like over here is the good side. This is purification.
Yeah.
This is evil.
I
As it moves, it goes from the middle over to here. This starts going off, and then it goes over here. Is the more purified side. This starts going off.
Yeah.
That's kind
I-
like it's
but
because it's still a bar.
I don't think it should be permanent. I think that it should be per level
should be
up.
Able to
It
go
will-
back
Based
yeah.
on
over.
your honor score,
It
should be
changes.
Visualizing.
per
Those go
level,
away
per
if you
point,
become
whatever.
too good.
this is another thing.
and
too,
that's
like,
and that's another thing. As you
Because you
get
can
more
always
corrupted.
work to improve yourself. And I think
Yeah,
that should
but it's
represent
when you
that.
go over to this side on the corruption scale. This stuff, like the stuff that you, let's say you unlock a lot of let's say you unlock a lot of evil stuff, then you go over to the good side. Well, then that stuff you put in, you still get it, but it's disabled until you move over to this side, and then if you move more to the middle side,
wait.
you unlock both.
Hold on, because we mentioned you can move like a king, right? That's what we said, right? Move like a king.
Move like a king, right?
So there has to be some hidden stat. Essentially, let me try and visualize this as well. So, this is like hidden to the player. This, I guess, is just implemented into code, which I don't know how you would implement that. But essentially,
So, is what we're thinking the corruption system? The more it leans one way or another, it boosts these stats, or are we thinking
it
that
takes away
if-
your options.
It
So
takes away your
this
options.
is your skill tree.
Right.
So the way I'm kind of envisioning this, right? Let's say like that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is like neutral, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
That's like
human.
the middle. Like
That's
I
the
said.
human area.
And then
I mean,
Two.
when it comes to like
three,
actual gameplay, so when
4,
you're making a
5.
decision like in real life, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can always just decide like, I could just pull out a gun right now and just go.
Do you have a gun on you?
No.
Then you can't do that.
But that's what I'm saying.
Carson could slit his throat, shaving
now?
off his beard.
He could just stab
Oh.
me. I could pull out my knife and I could just stab you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like realistically,
You're not going to.
no. Realistically, I could, right? I have all the ability to do so. But well, I guess I shouldn't say realistically. Yeah, you're right. What's it called? Theoretically, like it's the option is there, but like realistically, I'm not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
In the game, it's really like theoretically, your character could just start slaying civilians after being like a good guy and being so morally just, and morally like virtuous.
Mm-hmm.
But realistically, he's not he's not going to make that choice.
He wouldn't make that choice.
And so I kind of like that your option would be like limited per se, based on your choices. But the more, because like I think because you can always do you might do really really well, and then you might commit a really bad sin, or you might be doing really really bad, and then you might commit a really good virtue, like in real life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, because like...
And so it's about scaling that.
Right. So, I think it's very dependent on your situation in the game, like scenario dependent, but you can have it to where you can have a drastic option of either side.
Drastic.
I do say drastic. Like...
Drastic.
Drastic.
Is that
Jurassic.
not a word?
Drastic.
You said Jurassic.
Jurassic.
Oh, That's
Like
funny.
Jurassic Park.
That's funny. It's...
Go on.
I'm tired. So... Jurassic Park. So,
Jurassic Park.
like, let's say you have an option to, like, let's say you're talking to somebody, and you have the option of, like, if they say something that you disagree with, you could
Argue. What are you
Okay,
visualizing?
So on point.
If they say something you disagree with, kill them.
Okay.
no.
Is it like Fallout where okay, let's say there's
Alright,
same
let's
thing.
go. Let's do this. Okay.
You can disagree with them and be argumentative, or you can agree with them or agree with them and whatever. Like, but there's also that option to disagree but be understandable. So you can just be middle of the road there and then not have that choice. Like not have you can say voice your opinion but not be whatever about it, which then it wouldn't move your corruption at all because you're just being middle of the road. But then there's also that option where you could be like, I'm gonna kill you now for that opinion, and then you can do it, and then that's gonna move your corruption like over here.
Right.
Is that what you're trying to get at?
This is
couldn't
kind
think
of.
I can't think of like an example that.
This is kind of a mini scale of what I'm trying to like say for that, like for the meter that determines how good or evil you are or neutral. You can imagine there's a third color here once again. It's the meter that determines how good, neutral, or evil you are, and also, therefore, in the end, what decision you're able to make for the essentially like ending and the final cutscene. So, like I said, it would probably be much bigger, but what I'm trying to get at is like if you're here, right in the middle, right? You have all these abilities open to you. This is within the skill tree, but also within like the endings and stuff. But as you like come over here, it's like here you still have all the abilities. Here you still have all the abilities. But once you get far enough over here, that's when one layer
Goes away.
becomes unavailable.
Right.
But
And-
that doesn't change the fact that you can become more corrupt even if you're on the good path.
And then
Go
when
back
it gets
here,
pushed back to that side,
And
you
then
unlock them again.
it unlocks again.
Yeah.
But that's hidden to the player. All it tells you is like
Your corruption grows.
Yeah.
Or,
yeah.
Yeah.
Or like
So-
when you try and select
Your
a
virtues
skill
yeah.
that's too far.
And the
out of
reason
reach
I'm
for
trying
you,
to
it's like
think
you're-
about it like that is because we said with this skill tree, like we wanted it to be like a king on a chessboard. You can move one space in any direction. But also you can
You're locking onto that really
So-
hard. It's just I just threw
It's-
it out there.
I
Yeah,
like
so-
it. I like it.
What I'm also.
But I'm sorry. I wanted to just finish this thought because like we said, like you could be over here, but it's like you can move one space from wherever you are. So like, for example, like if you did, it's hard to represent it. It's like if you're over here and then, but even if you work your way like over here to some abilities, but it's like even if you're close enough to be able to get to like something over here, once it's like unavailable to you, you can't get over there.
Yeah.
So, it essentially the skills you choose to give yourself have an effect on this hidden scale, like how corrupt, neutral, or good you are. They have an effect on that, but there's also like I don't know. You guys get what I'm trying to say, right? It
Yeah, I
hides
guess so.
this.
There's
if
also
we go with something like that.
I mean, there's also this skill tree right here that we haven't talked about a whole lot recently. So I figured, yeah, I'll take this back. But
If you need it.
with
We're over an hour. We should probably wrap it up.
yeah, but this is
Well,
just
we're
my
cutting
final
out some
thought.
of it. The last episode of this was an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
True.
But like so like this idea, the corruption system's obviously still here. But with this, obviously, since you're making big choices and the world changes, these things become available to you because these are what you feed off of. And then the corruption system can be, well, obviously like this. This is a horizontal thing where it's this way or that way. Well, here it can be vertically, but the way, since these are already based off of your choices, these don't change. There are options, like if you're evil, but with David, you save David, you're still getting this part. But if you're heavily corrupted, it's going to go up here, and these skills are going to be the ones that are boosted, and these ones could be weakened. It's like kind of what Carson said in the first episode, where depending on where you are with corruption,
So are you saying like with that one you get a new ability per every like chapter?
well, this
Essentially.
it basically gives you see these are bubbles, and this isn't a very good representation, but it gets the job done. But this is one chapter, like one choice, and this.
So you
gives
make a
two
choice
bubbles.
every chapter, which automatically gives you a new ability.
It gives you an ability, but what it does is you go into this bubble. The ability you get from that choice is the base of that, and then there's other skills you unlock, and it's based around these. So what it is you go here, you make a good choice, you get temperance, and with temperance, there's the main thing you get for choosing the good thing, and then there's the other stuff there. And what the corruption system does is that if you're pure, these things get boosted. If you're evil, the evil side get boosted.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna ask you. So like, what I'm trying to figure out with yours is like, is that one where it's just gonna be like you're awarded something after every chapter?
What
and
it
it's
is
not like
is
you choose it.
so. Let me see. Let me give you the interior of basically one of these bubbles. So there's a bubble, right?
There's a heart.
Whatever. So here's like your little bubble, right? That's the skill you unlock. That's the skill that you get for making this choice. Now, it's a pretty big skill, right? Obviously, it's a big choice. So you automatically get that filled in. But branching off from it are all these other little skills. And all these other ones are things you can unlock manually. These are
Okay.
things you
Is
get.
it a separate currency to unlock those skills?
It's like, well, yeah, the skill tree only furthers and expands because you progress further through the story making these choices
So what's the currency to spend on unlocking the interior skills?
on these.
Yeah.
These are like, skill points.
Okay.
It's like an XP system
Okay.
or something,
I
like
think
maybe even
I see
it could
what you're
be
saying.
like a side collectible. Like you collect certain types of crosses, and depending on how many crosses you get some. Like that's another thing. It could just be a simple skill tree XP boost, but like
Yeah.
this is what you get. That's your main thing because you make the choice, and then there's all these other things that you get, and you can spend those on those too. But the thing is that I think this works in the storytelling way because your character's making these choices that obviously heavily affect the modern world. That's why you're there, is to change history in the devil's favor, so hell can walk on Earth, and all this stuff, bad stuff can happen.
Which
right?
is just supposed to be a metaphor.
Which is
Yeah.
supposed to be a metaphor
Not-
for not
never,
actually,
ever
not actually
really
going to
happen.
happen, right? But it's basically a metaphor of, it's a scary idea, which is what if,
Excuse me.
it's the scary thing
God
of the
bless
scary idea of what if God
What if.
fails.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the reason he fails is because you choose not for him not to prevail.
And it's
Also-
supposed to be a representation of your
Also-
personal progress.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's also another thing about the ending, is like I do want the ending to be really tragic, to where like people really, I mean, I think I talked about this before, but
People feel moved.
people feel moved by it. They're like,
Emotionally
in
significant.
real life, I don't want this to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I will do everything in my power to make that change, to be the change.
Well, you can lean into the horror aspect,
Mm-hmm.
because
Well, I mean, it will probably.
I
Like,
mean,
that ending.
if we're
will,
talking
for
about
sure.
moving them, are we talking like an emotional conclusion, or
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah,
we're
emotional,
going
like,
well,
I-
it's supposed to be emotional in obviously.
So like
that's
an
the
example,
umbrella, but-
I'll give. I gave probably the same example, but
is it Cyberpunk?
yeah,
Okay.
was it the same one?
Yeah.
So, again, Judy Alvarez. I remember a character's full name. That's how much of an impact this freaking has on me, right? So Judy Alvarez, like, throughout the entire game, I was just kind of like going through the missions, not really knowing how much progress I was making on them, right? Because there's no progress bar. It's just like you go, like in life, you kind of just go through it. And then by the time I get to the end of the game, it's like that's the end of the story. And then I think I did share this example, but I chose the worst ending, like the saddest ending ever of just like. Did I tell you? Do you know?
No.
Okay, I chose the saddest ending. Anyway, at the very end credits, all the characters are like, I hate you, why would you do this? This is really sad that you have done this. And then, like, Judy's is probably like the most, like, it hit me so hard. She's like all, she's all sad and like saying all this stuff. But that ending, like, screwed me up for like a week or two. Like, I literally, like, could not go through life the same way
Yeah.
that I did before
Yeah.
playing it. And I kind of want to have that same effect where people are just so like, they get so
Emotionally
moved. Yeah, emotionally moved or, like, emotionally involved with it. Like, they're just like...
Well, to accomplish that, that's going to take
a lot.
in-depth, not only mechanics and
You,
storytelling, but
yeah,
like
it's gonna like.
character writing is going to be important.
I was gonna say like that's
Mhm.
that's gonna be a huge one.
Well, good thing
For
a lot of
sure.
it's
And that's-
already written.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But
that's-
Go
the
read
other
your
thing
Bible,
is,
boys.
is depicting that in game.
With like personable dialogue.
Yeah, exactly. Because like
that. I mean,
You-
the thing. To
some people
accomplish-
might, but not necessarily everybody gets attached to characters in the Bible. But I think that
Mhm.
you can make that emotional connection a lot more significant through a game because you have a visual representation and it's kind of more real.
And that's what I was gonna say. Like, a huge part of like
And so that goes
people
into
not being connected is because it's like people don't view them as like a person, like a human.
yeah.
And
because
so,
it's just
like,
words
this,
on a page, right?
right, exactly. So this would give them that visual representation.
Yeah,
That's
so this
it
goes
would-
into not only character writing but also visuals, as in being able to like animate
Yeah.
the expressions on a person's face,
a full
voice acting.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the whole
Very
9
important.
yards, dude.
It's but the thing is that obviously that took a lot for you to feel that way,
Yeah.
and that's just because that's all these things that build up into this one thing. I mean, obviously we all want this one thing, that we want these endings to actually feel accomplishing. Obviously the story is gonna have to have its payoff,
Mhm.
and obviously it's gonna have its payoffs because either you be evil, get the evil stuff, and then you're gonna be, I don't know, like scared in the way like, what if God fails, right?
Mhm.
And it's just a what if. It's not gonna happen,
Not
right?
ever actually gonna happen.
Yeah.
But that's the idea. Is like but I mean, obviously we don't entirely know how he's supposed to feel, but like the good ending I said last time was the character doesn't go to church or anything. Like, I mean, the very good ending, right? He doesn't go to church or anything. Like, he just goes to the beach, he sees someone out in the water, runs out to it, and realizes halfway when he looks down and sees he's actually walking on water, but like obviously that gave Nevan chills.
That gave me
Right.
chills, yeah. When you first said that.
That idea is like obviously that can be very emotional too, but we're talking about two complete different endings here.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're gonna, and obviously this corruption system is obviously the big idea where your choices lead to the betterment or the destruction of the world in one way or another. And obviously through the entire thing we're gonna have to think about every single thing that happens in that story, but we're still not thinking entirely. We're not going that in depth yet. But just for that to have an effect, that's gonna have to be an in-depth thing that we go through as we make this.
Yeah.
So it's not something we should worry about yet. I'm saying because like we're discussing about the skill tree still. So
I want to go back to that. I know I keep going back to this. Okay.
Never.
Maybe it's just that I'm not exactly grasping yours, but the way I keep imagining it is like, you said this is linear on the timeline, right?
it goes like this.
Mm-hmm. So remember last time how we were discussing, like, at the beginning of the game, like, you'd have an option to go and tempt Eve or to, like, walk away.
Yeah.
But that's a dilemma because the game can never start if you choose not to tempt Eve, essentially. What if, though, we can use this idea, and maybe, like, once again, I don't know if I'm imagining this right, but I'm imagining it more as, like, a reward tree or, like, a reward system where you
I see that.
unlock a new ability and award every time, like, based on the decision you make at the end of the chapter, you unlock this new ability. Similar to, like, at the end of the game, when you make a decision, you get an ending. At the end of a chapter, you make a decision and you get an ability. So I'm imagining that along with this, so you have both those options. And so, like, at the beginning, you choose to tempt Eve or not. If you choose to tempt Eve, you get an evil ability, and you go.
It moves you over to the side.
It moves you over here. This is, like, once again, a hidden value type thing.
Yeah.
It would have, like, depending on, like, once you go too far in one direction, it closes these abilities off, and then if you go back in the other direction, it opens them up more. So based on which of these abilities you unlock, which of these abilities you choose to unlock, as well as the decisions you make in game, it moves you around here, which can close off abilities on either side. But also, if you're farther one way or another, it makes, like, if you're farther to the right, it makes the good attacks or the good skills more powerful and the evil ones less powerful. Is that making sense? Like,
I'm kind of picking that you're basically having both sides either way, but the corruption system is it's basically you unlock more stuff over here. But then with these core abilities right here, you get these depending on your choice. So it's the same idea like with locking this stuff up, where temperance you get the main ability and then the other stuff.
do you have a choice in these though?
A choice of these?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's just a skill tree from this point on. It's just a bubble, and each one of these bubbles is built like this, where
Okay,
you get
so
the core
I
ability.
see. So you can
And then
unlock the
you
bubble
get
and then
these.
you can do skill points.
And then you can do skill points.
I finally realize it. No.
And then obviously it locks. So like you do the good choice, you get temperance, and then you get all the temperance stuff. And then lust is like you get lust, and temperance is locked off, and then you do all that stuff. And then depending
Okay.
on your corruption, this stuff is going to be more powerful if you're good.
So
and
basically,
it's
you
less-
unlock abilities, and with the abilities, more mini skill trees. But you also have your main, like, I guess, main skill tree.
That and those also don't necessarily have to be connected.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was imagining. Like, they're
At
two
least-
separate
at
things,
least directly.
and then depending on like this scale, they can become more powerful and
It
also
could- it
lock
could
things
also
off.
be-
Is that making
It
sense?
could
Yeah.
also be when you unlock, say after a mission, the good side. That is what causes the gray out to happen on there.
Yeah.
And so basically, it's
I
just a
mean,
marriage
that
of
makes
these
sense to
two
me.
skill trees.
Well, here's what I'm wondering is because, like, one, imagine having like two very in-depth skill trees. That would be kind of hard to do. But also, like, with this, the corruption or good system, and then it's like any coders, like, how the heck would you code something like this? Like, I have no idea.
They can figure it out.
Yeah.
They could probably figure it out, but like,
I've seen
imagine.
systems
I
work
can-
like that all the time.
I mean, I could probably
Imagine
figure it
doing
out,
that.
but- I mean, this is.
I don't think that's that complicated.
I think this
Maybe-
kind of
maybe
makes
I'm just
the heavy choices
stupid,
much
but-
more heavier, which is why I kind of like it, because it's going to, like, the world changes depending on the choice you make. Well,
Yeah.
not much. I mean, the good side, it doesn't change at all. But the evil side is going to change a lot.
I like being able to see that cause and effect.
And yeah, and what it could be is that the timeline is, as it builds, it shows you the depictions of what happens basically in the modern world, the depictions of these things like artwork and whatnot. And it's this stuff. It's the timeline, and then you get these. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. What was that?
What did I say?
It was. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, you guys get it, I think.
It's like, yeah, because I just kept kind of imagining yours as like, instead of like the skill tree, it's based on a decision. You unlock a more significant ability, like a better ability based on a decision. So.
Yeah, but the idea is that these bubbles are are like these branches in the skill tree. So like if I were to go this way, these are the branches of the skill tree, but the skill tree keeps going up. But since it's the timeline, these are the bubbles, and making that decision gives you this ability, and it's supposed to be pretty powerful because it's based off the choice you made. And then here's the skill tree kind of inside of it. So you basically go into these different categories, and depending on the choice you make, that category changes from either virtue to sin. It's hard to visualize because I suck at drawing, as you can definitely tell.
I'm kind of starting to see it.
This is what I'm thinking. But I like yours too, where it's the king on the thing. But I just think that the story itself is going to have much more of an impact this way.
Okay.
I mean, the corruption system works very well too, but we could also have it where it's just these become more powerful the more corrupted you are. These become more powerful the more good you are, and maybe the other side gets more weaker.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what I think. And I think we're at time. Are we at time?
We're probably out of time. We'll have to figure that out, discuss more, but keep these together. We have essentially two options.
Yeah.
Because I'm just trying to think of how we use those together, and it gets kind of complicated. So we'll have to sort that out. Because
I think just a use of one of them would be good.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's just what do we think would work better towards the end goal. Because obviously mine's more based on the big choices you make.
Unless you go into the bubble and then it looks like this.
And then it would look more like this, yeah. But the reason each skill builds off of this point, and then maybe if we want to make it even more complicated, we could make the bubble bigger.
What are we calling this?
These connected to this. So this branches off, and each one branches off into their own thing.
Yeah, it's super complicated.
But what I was thinking is that each skill is based off of just this one thing. So it's a non-linear skill tree within a linear skill tree is what I'm thinking.
Mm.
So this is more like it. So you get all these skills, and you get this, and then you can build off of that into other things. So it's linear in the way where your choices depend on which one you get, but the non-linear part is you can get each one of these once you get that. That's kind of
okay.
That's basically and then yours it's a king on a chessboard moving up and more in each direction, where there's neutral and there's good and there's evil, and depending on your corruption, that changes what you can get.
Yeah.
Which also works. But yeah, are we gonna hold on to these?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Probably.
Who's
we need
holding
like
on
a
to it? Damian, you
folder
wanna hold
for
on to
these.
it?
Why would Damian hold on to it?
Because it's his idea.
Sure. I'll hold on to them.
And there's another Prince of Darkness
That's yours.
idea I had, but
And yeah, just
Right.
write if you
Save
if
it for
you
next
think of
time.
anything, just write it down.
Maybe the back of the classroom is
Idea.
now just becoming
That's
our
that's what I'm doing right now.
ideas
Next
for
time.
well, this is what I had. If you
the
could
video
read.
game.
Actually, sorry, false question.
It's lore.
It's lore now. Damian can't
Damian
read.
Can't read
Or type.
out loud.
Or think
Damian
of words.
can't breathe. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are confused,
So are we.
don't worry, so are we.
This is a very complicated concept to grasp for a normal person. It would be
For
so much easier
For Damian.
if you. It wouldn't be hard if you played the game. If you were to play the game, I'm sure it wouldn't be that hard to understand.
Well,
If you understand
if our
it.
story writing was done well, then it won't be hard to understand.
Story writing. If it's not bad, if the story writing's not bad, the
It'll
story
make
writing's
sense
bad.
when you play it, is what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
All this pain and suffering is for you, for Jesus.
Basically, yeah, that's what we're saying.
Oh, my word.
How are we ending this one?
We're just ending it. That's it. Hope you enjoyed.
Hopefully, make your day better.
Hopefully your day is better.
I do say day because it's 12:30.
Better. Is it really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my word.
It's 12:33 actually.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, tell us your ideas. Tell us, I don't know, what you think of the skill trees, if you even paid attention to that. I asked them a question, and then I forgot to listen because I was making a skill tree.
Well,
I'll have to listen to this one back.
yeah. I think I'm gonna. I know it's an hour 40 long, but I think our last one I'm gonna watch
Yeah.
just so I can like refresh my brain
And go read my
what we
Bible.
went over.
I'm going to have to
And I do
download...
have most of what we talked about written down already.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to download, like, the app that makes the Bible, like, different reading levels for you.
Bible modernized.
Bible modernized type thing.
Modernized Bible.
Go do it.
Skibbity.
Go to Jesus. We already said it.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I love you.
Like, subscribe. We'll see you next week. I don't do that anymore. I'm tired.
And now we're the ones doing that. And you don't.
No, I'm saying I don't put in the edit. This is another hour 40.
Is it really?
Well, we didn't
Almost.
start off very well.
Oh yeah. You're gonna cut out